I'd like to call to order meeting of the Township of Hamilton Committee. Thank you. I'd like to call to order the meeting of the Township Hamilton Committee for Monday, August 6th, 2018. Please stand for the flag salute. John?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Adequate notice of this meeting has been provided pursuant to the New Jersey Open Public Meetings Law by posting a notice of this meeting on the bulletin board in the municipal building and by publication in the Press of Atlantic City on January the 5th, 2018, and the Atlantic County Record on January the 10th, 2018. Mr. Gishard?
Present.
Mr. Kurtz?
Here.
Mrs. Link?
Here.
Mr. Silva?
Here.
And Mayor Schenker.
Here. We have a moment of silence for private reflection, and please keep in your thoughts and prayers tonight Jay Davenport, a fantastic citizen of this township, passed away sometime last week. He was a longtime fire chief of Mizpah. He will be sorely missed. Just keep him and his family in your prayers. Thank you.
Sure.
Thank you. Tonight we have a guest presentation, just some here on my desk. I'd like to call up Bobby Laws and John Whaley. I'll meet you down front. These are my favorite meetings. These are the meetings when we get to recognize young men and young women who do great things. So this is a lot of fun. Thank you. I guess you guys had a lot to do with this. Okay, good. So I'd like to read this proclamation. Where the Hamilton Flying Knights and the Mays Landing Express track and field teams were comprised of young men and young women, the ages 5 to 17, who live in the Hamilton Township and surrounding areas. Whereas the Hamilton Township Flying Knights and the Mays Landing Express joined forces to create Knights Express track and field team and competed in the Junior Olympics trials held at Stockton University on June 22nd, 2018. And whereas at this event, members of the Knights Express qualified to represent the state of New Jersey at the 2018 AAU National Club Track and Field Championships, held in Orlando, Florida, July 6th to the 14th, 2018, where they achieved All-American status in the girls' 100-meter, 200-meter, 800-meter, 1,500-meter, 4x100 relay, the boys' 800-meter, 1,500-meter, and 4x10 relay. Did you lose any? Now therefore, we, the Township Committee of the Township of Hamilton, County of Atlantic, State of New Jersey, on this day, August 6, 2018, do hereby recognize Knights Express Track and Field Team in honor of their remarkable accomplishment. This achievement is not only a credit to their hard work and dedication, but it's a credit to the support they have received from their families, coaches, teammates, and teachers. We congratulate the Knights Express Track and Field Team for their incredible success in the 2018 season and wish them the best of luck many years to come. And it's signed by all of Township Committee. Tell the truth, that was for me, right? Thank you. You're going to read them off, bring them up here?
I like to, before we start,
naming the kids, I'd like to thank some other people in the room. First of all, I'd like to thank our committeeman Roger Silva, who's also our deputy mayor, committeeman Rodney Gashard, of course, our Mayor Schenker, committeeman John Kurtz, no relation to the running Kurtz, and committee person Judy Link. Thank you so much, guys, for your consideration and for acknowledging these children that live in our community that has done something that we feel has just been tremendous. I mean, it's tough enough to compete against the people in your area when you're representing New Jersey or going against Pennsylvania and Delaware. And you do that every week, but when you have to go against the rest of the whole country, and then Puerto Rico shows up too, so it makes it just that much more tougher. And these kids went out there and showed some grit and some heart that can only be, described as, amazing. So the hard work from our coaches, Coach Janice, Coach Kevin, Coach Kia, Coach Sean, Coach Sal, from all you guys. Did I miss anybody? Please let me know, because if I did, I don't want to hear about it later. Brandon, I don't want to hear about it later. You guys beat me up. Oh, hold on. And last but not least, they didn't let me get my grand finale here. Last but not least, my loving wife, Lisa, who put up with a lot of stuff and helped make a lot of the stuff happen. And of course, John and his family, just amazing stuff. You got anything you want to add, John? Now, we used to do this all the time, right? And this is exactly how it would work. I'd run my mouth and I ask him, no. This man is all action. Okay, so what we'd like to do is, proclamations are here. We're going to ask each child to come up, and we're going to kind of create like a semicircle up here or a line up here. As I call your name, Miss Jaleesa Derry.
Bobby, how old is she?
Okay, Jaleesa is 8 years old. Unbelievable. Jaleesa is 8 years old, and she placed 5th in the entire country in the 800 meters.
Wow.
Whoa.
I could just add that at 8 years old, I couldn't even say 800 meters. Secondly, Mr. Jaden Kurtz, again, no way. Jaden Kurtz placed 3rd in the country in the 800 meters of 9-year-old boys. Riley Kane, would you please step up? In the 800 meters, the 1500 meters, 1500 meters. Okay, and this one's really special because this guy decided he wasn't going to go out and just become All-American. He wanted to be the national champion. Mr. Blake Kurtz. Great job. Good feeling Wheaties box this week. This young lady wasn't happy with just one medal. She had to make All-American 3 times. She came in 2nd in the 100, she came in 3rd in the 200, and she anchored probably one of the most fantastic 4x100 meter relays I've ever seen in my life. I'm telling you guys, if you're patient enough, give her 4 years, and you'll see this young lady in the Olympics. Miss Jocelyn Whaley. I think she lent a couple medals. Next, we have Miss Amaya Stevens. Led off our 4x100 meter relay. It was fantastic. Just to put us in the money was just unbelievable. There were 2 girls from the Knights team, 2 girls from the Express team. They came together a week, I think it was, before the meeting. And I gotta tell you, the work these guys put in to make this thing work. If you know anything about the relays, passing the baton is the key to the event. Like that's the key. You have to be succinct. Like you have to be able to put your hand back, hit the baton, not lose any time. And these girls did this thing like you would believe. Now, if I mess your name up, please don't hit me because I watched your name every day since the first time I met you. So, Amel and Nolly. And just a fantastic job. She's one of the younger, I think you were the youngest person on the relay, weren't you? Yeah, she was the youngest person on the relay, and I'm telling you, this young lady held her own. She did her thing out there, and we were really, really impressed with her. Also, we have our prognosticator and big announcement person. She ran third leg, Azuri McKinney. Don't hit me if I spelled it now, okay? Did I get it right?
Yes.
All right. You got it right this time. Okay, this young man is special in his own right. You know what? Yeah, he's special in his own right. I was going to try and say it with the last, but he's special in his own right. This gentleman travels around the country and he speaks on a debilitating disease that someone told him he had, but every day he proves the world that he's bigger than that. Mr. Noah Davis Logan. This thing says he's not supposed to get out of bed in the morning. Instead, he gets up and runs. Good job, man. Where'd you guys just get back from?
I was in California, then we went to Florida, and New York.
All this week. All this week. And he just travels around and he speaks on this documentary, Special Blood?
Correct.
Okay, there's a documentary, you can look it up, it's called Special Blood. You can see some excerpts from YouTube if you go on, but it's called Special Blood. Young man is really, really miraculous here, and you guys would appreciate it. Take a gander at the YouTube clip because it's just fantastic. I love it. Great job. Mr. Jeremiah, Money Bunny. Jeremiah ran our leadoff flag, and he did a great job. Isaiah Davenport, please come on. Great job. Thank you so much, sir. And this guy's pretty special because he's been with me for a long time. He's put in a lot of work. And I've watched this guy mature as an athlete and as a young man. And he's a class act all the way around. Mr. Xander Roberts. And ladies and gentlemen, that's your 2018 national champions in all guys.
Maybe wallet photos.
Wallet size.
Oh, y'all, so cute.
Can we breathe now?
Sorry.
Great.
Great.
Okay, oh, we got one more. Oh, come on.
It's amazing the talent they have, you know that?
All right. Thank you so much, everyone.
One more time, let's hear this wonderful team. I'm going to mark my calendar for this next year.
Work to do.
Practice.
Congratulations, guys. Real thing, huh? How many teams competed, you know?
That's incredible. That's incredible.
On here? Didn't know we were competing with that. Thank you.
Take care, man.
The New Jersey 2018 AAU National.
Oh, that's a real thing.
And one girl by the name of two Zampinos went to Worlds. Oh yeah? And, fabulous. One in freestyle, one in freestyle.
How do we get so many winners out of this little 27,000
That boy that travels
person
around and
town?
tells a story about the blood issue.
That's good.
Amazing.
Well, if you're not recognized, you don't.
Yeah, well, this is a whole boy, the number of medals won. I don't know how that happened.
Several speed skaters.
Well, I am too.
They stay on target, you know.
Yeah,
How can I call it our club?
it's a tough part. Yeah.
Our skating center. These are all amateur.
Hopefully they don't lose sight of their academics along the way.
Make some good, you know.
You know, like the AAU. But my parents had taken us to national.
Okay, that's it.
A puppy in the back of the room.
But that was a few years ago.
Oh, my goodness.
That was a few years ago.
Additions and deletions, late agenda items to be considered for tonight's action tonight, excuse me.
So moved.
Second.
I believe we have two items. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, the ayes have it. Early public comment on agenda items excluding items listed for public hearings. All the excitement? Okay. We'll move on to, there's nothing under discussions, public hearings. We have a introduction of an ordinance. Be listed under 5A. Introduction ordinance, public hearing to be held August 20th, 2018. Ordinance 1883, 2018, an ordinance amending Chapter 173, flood damage prevention, and Ordinance 1877, 2018, of the Township of Hamilton. Mike, can you, or excuse me, Phil? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Back in May, committee adopted amendments to the flood damage prevention ordinance as
Yes.
required by DEP and FEMA. We sent it up immediately thereafter, and then I guess it was Friday afternoon, about quarter to 5. We got an email back from DEP saying corrections were needed and questioning whether or not FEMA would keep us in the flood insurance program because of these deficiencies.
Okay.
So, that's the only reason why we tried to get it on for the meeting tonight. The corrections are primarily technical in nature. I mean, I did pick up one or two typos, some changes that DEP made to the language since the time they drafted their model ordinance. And really, it's just to fully cover everything as far as modifications to existing manufactured housing, recognizing existing manufactured housing developments. Substantively, though, there's really no significant changes what was previously adopted.
Okay.
Are the changes in yellow?
Yes, you have the marked up copy. The changes are highlighted in yellow. Again,
Yeah, but where did you get that?
Mayor, I'll move to introduce ordinance
Oh, 6A.
amending Chapter 173 to flood damage prevention and ordinance 1877, 2018.
I'll second it.
A motion and a second. Roll
Bill,
call, Rita?
I was,
I'm sorry, you have a question?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
I understand Park Road was to be exempt from the, the flood requirements, and that appears not to be the case?
no. Basically, what it is the mapping stays the same as revised. This is just the actual administrative language dealing with when you file for a floodplain permit, what you have to provide, who has to provide it, and the rules that govern any development that goes on.
Yeah, but didn't the maps change?
Maps, they will officially change on August 28th.
August 28th.
August 28th, yes, and that's just to make sure that everything is 100% the way FEMA and DEP want it. That's why, again, since it came in after 5 o'clock last Friday, ordinarily we would have, allowed a week or so to get this to committee, but to make sure everything's okay with them by that time, Mike agreed that we should try to put it on for the late agenda tonight.
Okay.
Okay, any other questions? Rita, can we get a roll call vote, please?
Yes, Mr. Gishard?
Yes.
Mr. Kurtz?
Yes.
Mrs. Link?
Yes.
Mr. Silva?
Yes.
And Mayor Shanker?
Yes.
All yes and introduced.
Thank you, Phil. 6, award of bids, contracts, and change orders. A, resolution authorizing award of bid 2018-05A, new salt storage building for the Township of Hamilton to Mybo Construction Company Incorporated, not to exceed $329,995. Mike, would you like to comment?
Yes, we budgeted approximately $500,000 for this project. So we're under budget right now. Whether or not there'll be any change orders, we don't know. But our existing building is both small, small and is rusting out. I mean, it's really a problem. So we need to replace it. And this project is a new salt dome building.
Is this building going to be bigger than the other one?
Be bigger. It'll hold more salt. Yes.
Mike, this where it's going to be put is in a different location where the assault building is now.
Yes.
So you'll have that spot available for like a pole barn or something for cover equipment
Something
up
in
at
the
a
future.
later date.
Yes, the location we selected was because years ago, someone had the foresight to get an area approved by Pinelands. So we wanted to use that, so we didn't have to go back. So it's going in a location there.
good.
But you're
So we
correct.
have some more
It'll
storage
free
there.
up the existing building, take the Quonset hut off and do some kind of pole barn or something.
Definitely needed.
Yeah, definitely needed.
Do we anticipate more salt that's going to be needed?
It'll hold more, yes.
Okay.
And as we add streets to our maintenance list, we need it. Yes.
So
Okay.
it will be necessary to take that building down before we can use it, the old building.
Yes. Yeah.
It's
well,
pretty much rotted at the base all the way around. You can see it where the continuation of the weather and the salt and everything started eating into it, so,
How old's the old one?
yeah.
I don't know how old it is.
So pretty old, though.
It's an old Quonset, or, it's
Yeah,
an
you
old
can see
kind
it.
of
It's
thing, yeah.
going to fall down. Okay, very good.
Mayor, I'll move the award of that bid to Mybo Construction Company not to exceed $329,995.
Second that?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Rita, can I get a roll call vote, please?
Mr. Gishard?
Yes.
Mr. Kurtz?
Yes.
Mrs. Link?
Yes.
Mr. Silva?
Yes.
Mayor Shanker?
Yes.
All yes and carried.
B, resolution to award bid 2018-01A, demolition of 5908 and 5916 7th Street to Near East Construction and Rental for the amount not to exceed $50,300.
I'll make that
So moved.
motion.
I'll second it.
Now, this is one that's been around for a little while now.
Yes,
We
it
rebid
is.
it because of an issue
Right.
with the bids and notice provisions, so
Okay, so we're not kidding this time.
I hope not.
We hope.
We have a motion and a second. Rita, could you please roll call?
Mr. Gishard?
Yes.
Mr. Kurtz?
Yes.
Mrs. Link?
Yes,
Mr. Silva?
Yes.
Mayor Shanker?
Yes.
Yes, and carried.
Thank you. We move to C, resolution authorizing the award of bid 2018-08A, electrical repair, maintenance, and service to the Township of Hamilton to Scalfo Electric on an as-need basis.
I'll move that resolution authorizing the award.
I'll second it.
Motion second is pretty much self-explanatory. Everybody have any questions? Seeing no questions, Rita, let's do a roll call for that one, too.
Mr. Gishard?
Yes.
Mr. Kurtz?
Yes.
Mrs. Link?
yes,
Mr. Silva?
Yes.
Mayor Shanker?
Yes.
All yes and carried.
Okay, we move on to the consent agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda items A, C through F, H, and we'll be pulling off B and G.
Okay.
I'll second that motion.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it. We will move to consent agenda item B, resolution requesting permission for the dedication by Ryder for road repairs from Tavistock Settlement. Steve or somebody want to speak on this, please?
Oh, you want to know what it is? The, it's, you have to go through the state to set up a trust account.
Okay,
And this way, when we receive the money from the bonding companies, we have a place to put it.
so this is the next step to getting the roads repaired at Tavistock.
Great.
Hallelujah.
I'll make that motion, Mayor.
Yes, you
I'll
will.
second it.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Do we need a roll call for this?
The attorney.
Please.
Mr. Gishard?
Yes.
Mr. Kurtz?
Yes.
Mrs. Link?
yes,
Mr. Silva?
Yes.
And Mayor Shanker?
Yes.
All yes and carried.
G, resolution to deny release of Aegis Security Insurance Company Band number B100 2528-4MB in the amount of $358,520 posted as a 2-year maintenance guarantee for municipal building generator replacement, which was originally bid 2015-08 and installed by the Ronald Janney Electrical Contractor. Due to an incomplete punch list items as recommended by Stephen Philippone, Township Engineer, and his correspondence dated 5/30/18, and authorized to the solicitor to take action against the bond.
I'll move that resolution, but
Okay. Steve, would you comment on this, please?
Yes, Mayor and Committee, I've written a letter dated May 30th. On May 23rd, I performed an inspection of the emergency generator, and you have a letter, I think, in front of you and a photograph, and the photograph really tells the story.
Okay.
The emergency generator consists of a fuel tank, and the top portion of the fuel tank, the steel fuel tank is indented or concave. When I went out and performed an inspection, I saw that rainwater actually lays on top of that steel top of the tank, and it's rusting, and given enough time, it will rust through.
Okay.
I had conversations, and I also had Public Works out there with me, and I'm making a very strong recommendation not to release that performance bond. The contractor, Mr. Janney, and our office, and Cummins Diesel, the company that supplied the generator, met on Friday. They're proposing a problem. It's going to take some time for that solution to be submitted to us, and I will not accept anything less than a perfect solution that's not going to add to the maintenance of our Public Works Department. So it will take some time. This bond is due to expire in about 2.5 weeks. So I make a
Okay.
strong recommendation to deny it.
So, Jess, would you speak on this, please?
We agree with the recommendation. if we need to file suit in this matter, if it's not fixed, it has to be before the bond expires, which is August 26th.
Okay.
So we're also agreeing with Mr. Philippone to not release the bond now and to pass this resolution.
All right,
if we need
so
to file suit.
basically what you're stating here is that we're not going to award them their bond, and we're giving you the right to move forward if need be, because of the timing constraints.
Correct.
Does
Okay.
this extend that period now that it's been brought to their attention and they're going to make a correction?
We had to put them on notice of it, which we have done. It doesn't necessarily extend their time to correct it, but if they do correct it before the 26th, we don't have to file a suit.
So did I understand you correctly? You would have to file suit by the 26th if they don't correct it?
Correct.
I have a question. When they correct it, are we going to have to pay more for their correction?
No, the correction will be part of the original cost to install the equipment, and I will make sure and guarantee that there's a warranty that's going to extend. I've had a number of conversations with Jess and Bob Sandman, so everything that we paid for, we will get.
Okay.
And we will not have to pay extra.
All right.
So in your opinion, when you had the conversation last week, were they amicable about what's the problem is? And
They clearly saw that there was a problem, and they want to rectify the problem, and they
okay,
will.
so, okay, very good. All right, so we have a resolution. Roger, you moved the resolution?
I did.
We have a second. I'd like to make sure that we add this letter to to the minutes under this resolution, so that would be part of it. If you could add that to your motion, I'd appreciate it.
Yes, I will.
Could I ask another question? Steve, did they explain why this happened?
It's a material defect, is
Oh, okay.
material defect.
But ordinarily, it wouldn't have happened if the material was.
I guess when the equipment was installed, it wasn't obvious. And 2 years now, where I do this inspection, it was obvious that the top is indented.
Okay.
They said it was a material defect. They take, full responsibility, and they're going
Oh,
to
okay.
give us a good replacement.
Okay,
or repair.
Good. We have a motion. We have a second?
I'll second it.
Second, John Kurtz.
So let's do a roll call, please.
Sure. Mr. Gishard?
Yes.
Mr. Kurtz?
Yes.
Mrs. Link?
Yes.
Mr. Silva?
Yes.
And Mayor Schenker?
Yes?
All yes and carried. It'll be marked Schedule A1 and attached to the resolution.
Thank you. Move on to 8, personnel, resolution appointing Harry Wozunk III as a truck driver laborer, first class, I suppose that means, at $33,615.36 annually, effective 8/6/18. Must obtain CDL within 1 year as a condition of continued employment pursuant to Article 25 of the CBA.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Are there any questions? Hearing none, all those,
Well, I just I understand that it's very difficult to get CDLs now. I'm just wondering, how are we able to get this gentleman in a fairly timely basis, I guess?
He has a year to obtain it. And by working with us,
Oh,
he'll be able to use
okay.
our truck and stuff like that for the test. So he has a year to get.
Okay.
Where is the CDL offered at the state level, or where
Yes.
do they get that?
It's a license, driver's license.
We want you back.
Commercial driver's license with CDL.
Yeah. I'm thinking of getting one.
are any other questions? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All those opposed, the ayes have it. We'll move on to B, resolution ratifying the memorandum of agreement with the Teamsters Local Union, Teamsters Union Local 331 in the Township of Hamilton regarding the eligibility of some part-time employees to join the Teamsters membership and authorizing the mayor to sign same.
So moved.
We have a
Second.
motion and a second. Are there any questions? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All those opposed, the ayes have it. Item C, accept resignation of Susan Hopkins from the Industrial Commission, 5-year term expiring 12/31/21.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and second. Are there any questions? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed?
Mike,
The
will
ayes
you
have it.
send her a letter thanking her for her, thank you.
Yes, that would be nice. We move on to 9, approvals, minutes, July 16th, 2018, regular meeting.
So moved.
Second.
A motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it. B, payroll and bills. Bill list total, $6,850,284.41.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Can we have a roll call vote, please?
Mr. Gishard?
Yes.
Mr. Kurtz?
Yes.
Mrs. Link?
Yes.
Mr. Silva?
Yes.
Mayor Shanker?
Yes.
All yes and carry.
Thank you. We move on to the reports. Mr. Administrator.
Yes, just one thing to add, we received the tax bills today, so they'll be going out in the mail this week. That's great.
So we never had to do the shortened version, right?
No, we didn't have to do TANs. We don't believe we're going to need to do
Right.
tax anticipation notice.
There'll be a grace period too?
Same as always.
Same as
Yeah.
always.
Were there any surprises?
Any surprises?
Were there any surprises?
No?
Oh, okay.
Taxed as usual. Is there anything else, Mike?
No, sir, that's all.
All right, thank you. Ms. Solicitor,
Yes, I actually have good news to report on the Tavistock case.
Bob is never coming back because he doesn't ever bring us good news.
As of Friday, the judge granted a motion to schedule a hearing date to accept the resolution that was reached between all of the attorneys. So the attorney for the bonding company, solicitor, and also the Tavistock's attorney. We have reached a resolution, and the settlement says that the agreement is going to have $650,000 to repair all of the roads. With that, Tavistock is going to take care of all those expenses. The money is going to be put into a trust, and it's going to only go towards the roads, not the basins. But with that being said, everyone's going to be put on notice. It's going to be put in the newspaper, and all Tavistock owners are going to be given certified and regular mail. And then in addition to that, the hearing for it is going to be on September 21st, 2018 in front of Judge Savio at 2:30. So if anybody is interested and wants to go to that, they can either submit a written submission, either for or against the settlement, or they can appear at the hearing and they can provide testimony then.
Very good. That was easy, wasn't it? All right. Any other good news, or that's it?
That's all I have.
Oh, that's good enough, thank you.
I was going to say, we're going to say.
Mr. Engineer.
Yeah, Mayor and Committee, I just have a few items.
All right.
The first item in my report is, last week I attended a 2-day seminar for stormwater certification. I'm required to go to that seminar and obtain a certification, and in 2 weeks when I receive the paper copy, that'll become part of the Township certification for our stormwater plan. So we are up to date on our stormwater plan. We're still waiting for this video from the state. As soon as I have it, I will distribute it to the members of the committee.
Okay.
The next item, and this is probably the most important, is the 2018 road program. I'm working on it. I plan to have that done very soon, and I'm going to get that out to bid very, very soon. Last Thursday night at the planning board passed a resolution to designate the entirety of the township as an area in need of rehabilitation. I prepared the report. I gave a brief presentation. We had about an hour's worth of discussion and questions. Erin Simone, the attorney with Jim Malley's office, was here, and she gave answered all the questions she was asked. Phil Sartorio helped me with a lot of the history and statistical data. And I think what came out of that meeting was, I think it was suggested that we should have either on our website or maybe a public forum to answer all the questions that the planning board members were asking. It's information we have to get out to the public.
Absolutely.
And the timing that would be once the township goes through, the rehabilitation and the redevelopment portion. There's so much information. So I think Rodney had suggested that, and I think it was an excellent idea. And Erin Simone took a lot of notes, so we'll make sure their firm follows up with all of the information that the public need to know about this rehabilitation.
Yeah, well, we could do some type of a town hall to let all the folks know. That would be great.
I agree.
Because, all of this good, valuable, what we're offering the
Right.
public is not going to do us any good unless they know that it's a tool that they
Well,
can use.
yeah, they need to know it's available, and they also need to understand how it benefits the township. I think there may be a little confusion that it's not, what's this going to do? It's not real clear, especially, when you designate an area around the mall like we did previously, it's kind of clear what the intent is. With this, it's a little more adventurous.
And along those lines, some of the board members even asked, "Look, tell us the tax benefits." And it was pretty well detailed, the way Erin Simone and Phil walked through it. And so there's really, I don't see a downside to this at all.
No, I don't
Well,
either.
maybe we could have a big meeting about it.
Yes.
For example, if someone has engaged in taking over a couple homes that have been dilapidated and are currently redoing them and flipping them, okay, does that fall into, or does it have to occur?
That's a very good question. The details of that, just Thursday night, we defined the parameter, which is the entire township. The details of that will be worked out through township committee. Jim Malley had suggested there's sort of like this Chinese menu that you could pick and choose and design that rehabilitation
Right.
portion of this. So committee will have an opportunity.
Yeah, because I know two homes right on Rundle and Tunney that are being redone.
Yep.
Yeah. So, okay.
Okay.
And we just comment, that was a great job working on that, getting that set up and working on that. And we did make it clear at the planning board that, and it was made clear that the committee would be the place where this is going for the decisions necessary to make sure that the township is protected, because there were some issues brought up that were very important. Maybe down the line, when we do this, there might be a business we would want to restrict from opening in our township. And when you really think about that, it's situations that could occur, and that conversation has to come up and be discussed. And we'll have to get together with our solicitor and all when we decide to talk about that. But definitely, the getting it out to the public is absolutely important. Yeah, important to do.
I'll make sure that happens. I'll stay with that.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Next item I have is just some construction items. Buffalo Pike, you see they're moving forward, it's coming along. They won't tell me who else is coming there, but I'll keep asking the questions. But construction's underway. Parmar Liquor Store received a temporary CO last week. I guess they're stocking the store. I don't know that it's open yet, but we'll have a liquor store open up where Mr. Tunney's office used to be. Outback Steakhouse, I have a pre-construction meeting next Wednesday morning at 11 o'clock. That's as soon as they were willing to come from Florida to meet with me for a pre-construction meeting, so they're ready to get started.
Good.
I have bid openings scheduled for next Wednesday at 12 noon for the chiller. We've had 3 contractors pick up the bid packages for the chiller at my office, so we hope to get competitive bids. No new street openings in the past 2 weeks, which is good. We'll try to clean up the mess that they've created, and so it seems to have slowed down with the street openings, which I think is a good thing.
Steve, how does this rehabilitation sort of coincide with the master plan? Is this something that we're going to have to reestablish for the master plan, or is it an addition?
They'll sort of work hand in hand. One will not be in conflict with the other.
Oh, okay. All right.
And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Steve. Township committee members, Judy?
I was looking at my current newspaper, and I saw all the members of the Merchants Association gladly pictured there, and I'm sort of sad that I wasn't able to make it, but I think this shows the intent of supporting our local businesses, and that was very, very good. And I know this is an idea that has been involved in like the Cherry Hill area, where the people have like a credit card, and if they go to a local business, they get points for it, and that goes towards their taxes. Now, I know Michael didn't like that idea, but you know, it is important that the local businesses be supported, because they are the ones that also are paying the tax rateables, and it's very important that they be supported by the local population. And that's it.
Okay, John?
First, I'd like to, again with Steve, it's a good thing, and thank you for having, staying on top of things like the generator issue. It sounds like not a big problem until you ignore it, so I'm glad to see that that's being taken care of, and it won't cost the township money to see it repaired. That was a good move. Also, I do see the work getting done out at the Benderson project. Those huge walls going up look weird standing out there by themselves till they get some more done, but it's good to see something happening. And the roadway, I noticed, is progressing real nicely, that they're going to put through the center. And the intentions are to have that open at the time that the store's open.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so that, and the residents now have a way through that property, both Volunteer Way coming out to the Pike and also coming through the property from on Renaissance Drive there. Yeah, okay, great. And the other thing is, I just want to mention about National Night Out. It's tomorrow night. It starts at 6 o'clock. The times were changed because with this heat, it makes it a little cooler. If any of you can, we'd really like to see as many people out there as possible. The township's going to have a huge display. The chief is really involved in this, and they always set up a great display out there. Our green team, Public Works, I mean, it's really something to come out and see. A lot of some organizations too are involved in this year, and what a great location out there. Plenty of room, and the time slot will hopefully keep the temperatures a little cooler, so more people can come out and enjoy it. But we really like you to keep that in mind. Come on out, plenty of parking, walk around and see what's going on. It's a great program, and that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, John. Roger?
In addition to what John said, it's very interesting when you go to National Night Out, because since public safety is one of our top priorities in this community, when you see all the volunteer fire departments there with all their equipment, people just are in awe, because every one of the departments has a significant amount of equipment to handle the responsibilities they have in their area. So it's always a good night to go around, and in fact, a lot of people just say, wow, 2 ladder trucks? Wow, we need them. But when you look at it, and it's everyone, the EMS, the first aid, obviously, the fire departments and the police department always put on a great show. Last Saturday, I had the occasion, along with the mayor, to attend a dedication of the new flagpole and flag out at Victoria Crossing. They dedicated the flag and a flagpole to all veterans, past, present, and future. And I thought it was a nice event, because not only is Memorial Day and Veterans Day very important, but it's important when people throughout the year honor our veterans. So I think it was a great event to be at. And again, like John said, it's been very warm out there, but it still didn't chase away the people who wanted to be there. The 25th of this month coming, and we probably could announce it at the next meeting, Mitzvah Fire Department's having their car show. But one of the things I had to say about, several of us attended the funeral for Chief Davenport on Saturday. It was amazing to see the amount of other departments that was there, from Newtonville, Belcoville, Richland, Hamilton. A lot of places came down. And, you know, I don't think anybody really realizes how much time our volunteers put in protecting all of us. They protect our lives and our property. And you know, it's only when something like this does occur that we stop and think about what they contribute to the community. So I don't think you can ever say enough about them or thank them enough. But one thing I've always noticed about most of the volunteers, they enjoy doing what they're doing because it's not only protecting you, but it's protecting their family. So I think I have a lot of respect for all of them. So that's pretty much it, Mayor.
Thank you, Roger. Rodney?
Thank you. I was biking a few days ago, and I noticed that the house, the abandoned house on, or the burned house, I guess, on Knightsbridge Way, it looks like they're finally taking that down. So it was great to see that. The last planning board meeting was mentioned. I just want to say that there was a lot of great discussion that went on, and as Steve pointed out, it's a lot of information, and having a mechanism for passing that information on to the public, I think, is important because they're going to have a lot of questions. So, but I think what happened was very positive, and we can look forward to positive results. This team that was just here, I'm amazed that this was a national event, AAU event. I don't know how many teams participated, but all the awards that were mentioned, that's just unbelievable. And once again, we talked about volunteers for the fire department. We got volunteers for our athletes also, and they spend a lot of time at it, and they're very important to a lot of kids in the township. So that was really fantastic. I'm going to have to look and see how much competition there was, because that's hard to believe. The Mays Landing, 27,000 people, and we won all those awards.
Well, it was from
Great.
throughout the country. He said throughout the United
that's
States
right.
and Puerto Rico.
So it must be quite a few.
They probably had representatives from every state.
Yeah, you would think so.
And they got to go to Disney. Come on.
Disney's pretty hot right now.
Yeah.
The National Night Out has been mentioned. The green team that was mentioned, they will be there. They will have some bags, some beautiful bags to hand out. They also probably have a poster there, which we hope some of the businesses around can put up, encouraging people to use their bags instead of the plastic bags. Also, it wasn't mentioned, but you can have a lot of fun at National Night Out also. I recall, I think it was last year, one of the things they had was a bull, a simulated bull, which you get on and you try to ride it. And I didn't see too many people who stayed on it very long. And they had a dunk out there also, where they dunked people like the mayor, and that was a lot of fun.
Ain't happening this year, by the way.
It ain't happening this year.
You don't want to see me in a Speedo, trust me.
You'll probably notice on the way in the building that we have a information display board that's going up. This is for veterans. The veterans wanted to get something in a place where people could see it. So the township agreed to put up the display board for veterans or anyone else that would like some information about it. And finally, the Pinelands Commission, we were putting an electronic sign up for the veterans on Route 50. Well, we finally got Pinelands Commission approval, so we're ready to go with that.
Yep.
Hallelujah.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Rodney. I just like to make a couple comments about the area of rehabilitation designation that we're going for. Like Steve had mentioned, there's a lot of options that we can either choose to use or not use. I think it would be in our best interest to look at some of the other towns that have done this before us, to see what they've done and how it worked for them and what didn't work for them, so that we can educate ourselves. We're not running into this blind. This is not something that's going to happen overnight. We want to make sure that the options that we choose and how we use those options are proper and work for everyone in the town. There was some people who already have come to me and talked to me about things to look out for and things we may not want to do, and I welcome everyone's opinion, because this is a pretty big undertaking. I think it will definitely benefit the township. Being on the budget committee for the last couple years, we have to do. We have a budget, And we have to do more and more every year with that same budget. And if it starts to increase, we have to find a way to increase the revenue that comes in. And this is kind of a way of doing it by enticing businesses, people to invest in their homes. Their value of their homes go up. The value of your home goes up if they're your neighbors. So it's a win-win situation, I believe. We just have to be very careful how we do it and make sure we do it to benefit the entire township. So there'll be a lot of information that's going to come out about this before we do anything at all. I want everybody to be on the same page. You know, I like Roger mentioned, we were they did a ceremony for Jay Davenport. And while I was there, the one thing I thought of is here's another guy who dedicated a lot of his life as a volunteer, dedicated a lot of his time to that firehouse. And you know, I'm a little remiss that you don't recognize these people while they're still here, and it's it bothers you a little bit. So on National Night Out, I want you, if you go, I want you to go up to the volunteer fire department, the police department, the EMTs, and just thank them for what they do, because without them, this town is not as good as it is, and you know what I'm talking about. So the other thing was the Merchants Association was a nice event. Yes, we are out to try and to support them. We want to make sure, and we hope by bringing more business in, that will help bring more people here, which helps everybody. You know, like they say, a rising tide raises all boats. So that's kind of the thought process here, and I think it's going to help. So anything, you know, we can do to help the merchants, they do a lot for this town, and we appreciate it. And we don't want that to go overlooked. So that's all I have. If anybody in the public would like to speak, I'd open it up to the public.
Mike, we thought you were getting up to speak.
Yeah. He better have said something nice, that's all I know.
He turned the mic around for me, that's. I'm Alberta Ivicini from Tavistock, and I have a couple questions concerning the information that was relayed tonight for our roads. One, Ms. Solicitor, if you can.
Can you stand just a little closer to the microphone, please?
Pull the
Yeah.
mic down.
Thank
There
you.
you
Okay.
go.
All right. You said the hearing is scheduled for September the 21st. In this building, in this area here in Mays Landing, or
No, it's in the courthouse. It's Judge Savio.
on 40, the courthouse on 40? Okay. You had also said the $650,000 would be used to repair roads. Some of our roads were never paved, and some of them are in need of repair. Can you explain
Sure.
that?
So the bond, it covered the top coat. So the $650,000 is to repair what wasn't done or was done improperly. So out of all the roads that were done, the engineer and everybody's going to look at what needs to be done in order to get everything up to par with how it should be. And the engineer is going to prepare drawings and figure out what needs to be done and where. So I can't answer what road exactly it's going to be.
So can that information be shared with us before or not?
Absolutely.
I would love you know, I met with you once before. I would love to show you what I'm doing, because the last thing I want to do is I design something that gets built and somebody says to me, what about this, what about that? That won't happen. I want to spend time with you before it goes
That
out
would
to
be
bid.
so appreciated.
Absolutely.
Because we would be able to share that information with all the residents. And the more we know, it just makes a better community. Okay? Thank you very much for that. Either you can call Lou, or I don't know if I gave you
I
his
have
number.
Lou's cell number, and I've talked to him a few times, but if it's okay with you, could I make him the point contact?
Yes,
Okay.
whatever, as long as it's shared with us and we can get that information out to the community. Because my other question, thank you, but my other question was to know when this, do you think this is still scheduled for this year? Even though the hearing is so late, do you think there's enough time to get them done this year?
I
So
hope
one of the
so.
things that has to happen, which was passed in the resolution tonight, was that the money that has to be put into a separate trust.
Yes.
So that trust has to be established first, which can take up to a month or so. So the September hearing, if the judge does accept the settlement and the money gets put into the trust, then we can have the engineer drawings pretty much right away.
They're almost done. Drawings are almost done.
Okay, but in perfect world, can they get done this year? Do you think there's enough, I mean, honestly, Dave, I'm not trying to nail you to the wall, but basically, yeah, you know, yeah. Can they gonna get done this year?
It is cutting it very close if things go well on the 21st. I'm ready to put it out I'll be ready to put it out to bid as soon as I get word from, from the legal part of this, from our solicitor, that, okay, the money's there. There's other parts of this. It's not just a draw. I know the money has to be in a trust fund, and I don't know how that works. I can't,
And that's
legally,
what
I
has to be
can't.
established first.
Yes.
So once the trust is opened, there's state statutes that dictate how we take the money and where it goes.
Okay.
So once that's done, then we can move forward.
At one point, I thought you had said during one of the meetings or during our discussions or meetings, whatever, you had said it could take up to 30 days or 60 days to get bids back.
Typically, paving projects are 60 days, but we're gonna reduce that. We're gonna reduce that time frame.
Yeah, but it also takes time to get the bids out back.
It does take time. The bids have to be, it has to be advertised. I have to review the bids, make a recommendation, and then it has to come back to Township Committee for an award. It's pushing it.
All right, so can you assure us that if it can't get done for the remainder of 2018, that we'll be first in 2019? I mean, we need to get this done, and we've been...
We recognize that, and I also know that the weather has a big play in that too, and no one's actually mentioned that, but that's one of the big factors of how we can get started is weather. The rest of it looks like it's coming together really good. Everybody's on the page that we know this needs to be done as soon as we can get it done. I'd love to see it happen this year. Or this fall even, right up to late fall, but it really depends on getting the necessary approvals that we have, which looks like is all on track. So the weather's an issue, and you want to do that before the plants close up and things like that too.
The one thing about asphalt, you don't want to do it when the weather is turning on you.
Right.
November. You don't want to. The same thing at the beginning of the year. You don't want to be doing the asphalt when the plants first open up. So I'll do the best I can. I can't promise anything, but
When does the season open for 2019?
it's based on weather again.
May?
March, April.
So,
Okay.
can I, and I'm not an expert on asphalt, but I've been in construction a long time. If you, and we all want this done, trust me. No, I've been out there for you trying to push this.
Appreciate that.
And Steve has gone above and beyond what he has to do as an engineer, put his neck out there and did a lot of stuff before we had this stuff settled. So with that being said, you don't want to do your roads at the very end of the season. You're going to get a bad batch. You're going to get a bad patch. It's not going to adhere right. You really want the weather to be warm when this happens, so it adheres good and it lays well, and it's, I'm not trying to say you're probably better off if it's done in the spring, depending on how soon this gets done and what the weather's like. The weather's decent, we've had some Novembers and Decembers that are warm. Yeah. If that's the case, then, but I think we really need to look at this long and hard, that if we're getting close to where the longer that gets to sit in hot weather or warmer weather, the better off it's going to be in the long run. And I really don't want to sound like I'm trying to push this off, but you really have to look long and hard at that, because you want these roads to last for a long time.
That all makes sense.
So do we.
As long as it's all communicated or
Yes.
we're aware of it.
That's not going to be a
That's the
problem.
issue,
Communication
so there's
is
no
the
lag.
key.
As long as we know everything is set up, and even if it can't get done by the end of October or whatever, and believe me, once they're done, we do want them done. We do want them done correctly, and we want them to last. We don't want
Yeah, we do too.
10 years from now, all the rest of the remaining of the roads start to crack the way the current ones are cracking.
Right.
Not only that, the advantage is, once that's done and we take over the roads in
Right.
there, it's our responsibility. So we want to have the same attitude that you do. I think the advantage, as the mayor said, was Steve has done a lot of the preliminary work already. Unfortunately,
which is-
things don't move as fast in the public sector, and that's
all, it's just a question.
unfortunate.
Yeah. It was just a question to get a feel for it. It almost sounds,
We'll keep you abreast,
Yeah.
trust me.
I was going to say that a lot of times, until it's approved, the engineer doesn't go out and do any
Yes,
studies.
that's
we're
true.
aware of that, yeah, we are aware
Okay,
of that.
but,
We do appreciate all
You
of
know,
that.
Steve has gone ahead and done this a lot of
why we
times
like
on his
Steve.
own.
That's why we like, yeah.
He's a pretty good guy.
We really do want to take a look at what you're planning.
I'll
because
call
it's-
Lou and we'll schedule something for next
Yeah,
week.
that
I
would
would
be
like that.
great. Yeah, he's available
December
and
last,
Okay.
past year.
Yeah, I will.
It's not,
The weather held, the guy
Right.
moved fast,
Thank you.
right?
yes, thank you.
You're welcome.
Come on up.
I swear I'll be brief.
That's all right, take as long as you want.
Hi, my name is Maria Britta. I live at 125 Glinta Walk in Tavistock. Okay, the only question is, where is this hearing going to be on September 21st with the judge? Is that here?
No.
Mays Landing, Atlantic City?
It's at the courthouse.
The courthouse downtown here?
It's probably Atlantic City.
Courthouse
Here.
Park.
In the courthouse
Yeah.
in the industrial park,
Or in the industrial
or in
park?
Atlantic City.
Industrial park.
In the industrial
Industrial
park.
Unami Boulevard.
So it's in Atlantic City?
No, here.
No, no, no,
Here,
Oh,
right off of Babcock Road.
where the jail is.
okay, I know.
Two
where.
gigantic buildings.
Yeah.
It'll be in the
Went
advertisement.
there a few times. I would like to thank the mayor and council and everyone else involved for their help with Tavistock. It's been 14 years, long overdue. But we do thank you all for your help. And there was a question asked as to where to get a CDL license. Atlantic Investigations in Hamilton. I believe they have a course there. I work there. So you can call and check for your gentleman. Have a good night.
Good information, thank you.
Atlantic.
Anyone else?
Try to get mine back. I don't want to.
Harry?
You have some.
Good evening. Harry Rogers, 1069 Morningside Drive. I'm also a member of the Planning Board, and I would like to just add a few comments about the results of our meeting this past week that was discussed. The plan to extend rehabilitation to the entire township is going to be enormously beneficial, but it's hard to understand.
Yes, it is.
It really is hard. And one of the things that came out of our meeting last week was discussed here earlier about a presentation. I think if I could offer just a few suggestions, make the presentation part of a meeting so it's broadcast. Consider spending a couple dollars advertising this particular meeting because it's going to affect all the township residents. And if they don't make the meeting, they can see it on the rebroadcast.
Yeah.
A lot of people watch those rebroadcasts. They really do. And if I could make one final suggestion, when you do this, we can direct the lawyer. Matter of fact, this was discussed at the planning board meeting, to direct the lawyer to produce audio-visual aids to help understand this, line diagrams. Because talking about this in the abstract, it goes right over your head because there's so many ifs, ands, and buts. This is going to be great. It's going to lead to better things. It's got to be done right. And if people don't understand it, they're not going to trust it. So I think direction towards this person to provide not only a concise summary of what's going on, audio-visual aids, and the questions that were brought up by the planning board. They're all in the minutes of the planning board meeting. They should be directed to the presenter, who will address them, those questions one by one. Because by the end of that meeting, I thought we all had a pretty good understanding, and of course, we all voted in the affirmative. But again, if you don't sell it to the township in an understandable way, it's not going to be trusted. And that's going to make the further on steps to this process more difficult and needless bones of contention. Thank you.
Harry, just so you, in the meetings that I have been in, like Steve had said, there's like an à la carte menu of things you can do or not do. I think it would be in the benefit, because I don't know them all. We're not to that point yet. We're to the point where we know that we want to do this. And we're still, even if we do it, we don't have to do anything. Okay, so our next step would be to sit with the attorney again and dive into these à la carte options. And some of them, as Township Committee, we can figure out the ones we really don't think are good for us, and then make that presentation
That's one or two
smaller.
steps down the path.
Pardon me?
That's one or two steps down the path. The first step is to accept, I believe, is to accept the resolution that the planning board sent back to you.
Yes.
And
Where?
if you deal with these one piece at a time, I think you're going to be a whole lot better off, because when you start bringing in the menu items and the authorization for the menu items, what they can and can't do, it really starts to gray the whole subject. Deal with the pieces as they come up.
I understand, Harry, but
Please,
what I said
because-
was, I'm not bringing the entire menu to the public. We are going to look at it first to get rid of some of the things that we don't want this town to even think about doing. Some of them are things that we may or may not want to do, and it's going to be obvious to us. So instead of bringing it here and starting all kinds of conversation about something we would not be interested in the first place, I don't think that that's a good idea. I think we need to look at the options. There is a few more steps, absolutely. We're not even close to that yet.
As the steps progress, it might be advisable to have multiple presentations on the steps as they're about to occur. Thank you.
Yep. Anyone else?
I would just like to update, actually, the courthouse is going to be 1201 Bacharach Boulevard in Atlantic City.
It is Atlantic City. Okay. Thank you.
Yes, thanks.
It is
That's-
Atlantic City, not in the
It's
township.
important information.
Move to close the public portion.
Second.
Second.
You have a motion and a second to close the public portion. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it. We have a motion to adjourn. Are we in executive session tonight?
Yes, I have to read something. Resolution authorized Township Committee to meet in executive session. Be it resolved by the Township Committee of the Township of Hamilton that this meeting be adjourned to an executive session to discuss the following matters which are exempt from public discussion pursuant to the New Jersey Open Public Meetings Law. Township of Hamilton versus County of Bergen. Attorney-client privilege. Be it further resolved that the governing body may reconvene in public session and confirm the results of the executive session if there is a majority consensus for action to be taken on the matter tonight. Be it further resolved that the results of said executive session shall be made known as soon as the basis for confidentiality is no longer confidential. Need a motion.
Need a motion
So moved.
to move to
Second.
executive session?
Second.
Motion is second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All those opposed? The ayes have it.
John, what is your mobile?
Okay, to reconvene.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to reconvene. Are there any questions? Hearing no questions, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? I would ask our solicitor to bring us up to speed.
Whereas the Township Committee of the Township of Hamilton, Atlantic County, New Jersey, has determined to accept the settlement proposal of $15,000 from the County of Bergen.
I'll make a motion
I
to
second
accept
it.
that.
We have a motion and a second. Are there any questions?
Did
You have
something
to
else?
state the person? Or-
You have to state,
I didn't hear.
we accept it? I missed that.
Yes.
So this is a motion to accept,
Accepted.
correct?
John made it, I seconded it.
All right, so we need a roll call vote, Rita?
Bob. Okay,
Mr. Gishard?
Yes.
Mr. Kurtz?
Yes.
Mrs. Link?
yes.
Mr. Silva?
Yes.
and Mayor Shanker?
Yes,
All yes and carried.
very good.
Thank you.
Anything else? A motion to adjourn, or?
So moved.
We have a motion, second? Motion second, any questions? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, the ayes have it.
You did.